It's 8 a.m. 57 degrees in the San Gabriel Pomona Valley. This is Mel York with KWOW News. Moscow reportedly has told Washington it might send soldiers to the Mideast to help police the ceasefire. And apparently the Pentagon has responded with a military alert. Among those alerted were Air Force and Army groups in the U.S., quick reaction units in Europe, and the Strategic Air Command. A Pentagon source says it's all purely precautionary and a routine thing to do. So far, there's been no indication that Russian troops have started moving. Those charged with keeping an eye on the Mideast peace, UN truce observers, are marking off the front lines this morning. The Israelis say those front lines are quiet, though sporadic fighting was reported along the Suez Canal earlier in the day. The U.S. dollar moved ahead on the international money markets today, helped by hopes of peace in the Middle East. And Tropical Storm Gilda is churning up waters between Bermuda and the southeast United States, prompting Weather Service warnings of rough seas along most of the U.S. southeastern Atlantic coast. This is KWOW News.
KWOW, Pomona.
Ontario Racing Equipment, 1249 West Holton, Ontario, has 15x6 Spranger-type custom wheels to fit most GM cars for only $79.95 for a set of 4, including lug nuts and caps. You heard right, Spranger-type custom wheels, size 15x6, complete with lug nuts and caps, $79.95 for a set of 4. And Ontario Racing Equipment has super wide raised runner high-performance tires at unbelievable low prices, too. Ontario Racing Equipment, 1249 West Holton, just west of Mountain, Ontario. Bank AmeriCard, MasterCharge, and other financing available.
Thousands of elite U.S. Army troops and undisclosed numbers of Air Force and Air National Guard units, including some nuclear bomber crews, were placed on alert early today in the United States and overseas. Administration sources described the widespread alert as a precautionary measure. The order was issued after the Soviet Union notified Washington it might unilaterally send troops to police the ceasefire lines in the Middle East. UPI correspondent Mark Steinbaum filed this report.
We received a tip at UPI this morning about 1:05 a.m. that there was an active alert placed for Homestead Air Force Base, and all off-duty airmen were ordered back to the base. Nobody was saying anything, but it appeared it was not routine. PIO officer here, an information officer, wouldn't comment in detail, but he said it was not a drill. I went down here to Homestead. I was detained for a short while at the gate, and then I was ushered into a passenger terminal building. The only activity is the fact that officers and airmen have been coming through the gates at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, which is highly unusual down here.
Mark Steinbaum in Florida. Traffic on the freeways is moving just about normal. There's been a couple minor incidents, but nothing to cause any great delays in getting towards Civic Center this morning. 2 teenage boys were rescued by sheriff's deputies yesterday evening after they got stuck on a cliff in Rolling Hills. Officers say 13-year-old Lance Peterson and his 15-year-old brother Neil got stranded about 150 feet down a 200-foot cliff near their home. Deputies used a helicopter ladder to lift the boys to safety. The owner of the landmark Riverside Hotel in Riverside says the old building will be demolished. The hotel was riddled by a fire last month when one of the guests dropped a cigarette on a mattress. The fire caused $300,000 damage. The hotel structure was built back in 1888, and it served as the Riverside County Courthouse from 1893 to 1906. 5 teenage Las Vegas boys face theft and assault charges in Redding today after leading law officers on a high-speed 45-mile chase in a stolen van through Shasta County. Officers say the youth dropped bottles and gasoline cans from the rear of the van as they were pursued at speeds up to 100 miles an hour on a winding mountain road. The chase started after the teenagers allegedly left a Half Creek gas station without paying. They were arrested when they stopped their stolen van at a roadblock and attempted to flee on foot. The names of the boys were not released, but officers say they ranged in age from 14 to 17. Turning now to KWOW Sports, it appears that the dispute over manager Dick Williams could wind up in arbitration before American League President Joe Cronin. Oakland A's owner, Charlie Finley, says he wants to be handsomely compensated if Williams becomes manager of the New York Yankees. KWOW Southern California weather, fair weather today with a chance of some gusty winds below the local canyons. Today's high should range between 75 and 80. Currently in Hacienda Heights is 59 degrees. In Corona, 56. And at 8:05, the current KWOW temperature is 57 degrees. Mel York, KWOW News. Yeah.